So recently I came in contact with the coronavirus and I developed the illness. I took all the precautions, but one of my family members had the illness and so even I got it. So this is an awareness video. In the first part of the video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with the virus and how it affected my productivity. Secondly, I'm going to be talking about those students who do not have the illness yet, but how they can strategize so that their studies are not affected because of this contingency. And then thirdly, we are going to talk about those students who have the illness right now and how they can still maximize their potential, how they can still study along with the virus. And for your convenience, I have put the timestamps relating to all of these three topics in the description box below so that you can jump to the relevant topic. This is an awareness video. Make sure that you share it with your friends. I am CSCS Yogita Hajani, and for more motivational content, study related tips relating to your CS, CS or CMA examination, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Now let's start off. Firstly, a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. This whole video is based on my own experience and how I think things could have been better if I knew these productivity hacks already. So this is just to make sure you are aware. So let's talk about the first segment, which is what were my symptoms and how I developed it. So I developed the fever in the afternoon and it took roughly 6 to 7 hours for me to develop the full-fledged fever. Then after that, for the first 3 to 4 days, I had fever ranging from 101 to 102.5. Okay, now I was taking medication based on what our doctor suggested, even though I was not able to feel the fever much after the medication, but the fever was there, the weakness was there. And here's the weirdest part, I had brain fog. Now what is brain fog? I also learned about this term only after googling it. What brain fog means is that you are most of the time half sleepy. That means your brain is not fully active. You're bumping into walls, you're very weak, you're not able to hold a lot of things also. And you basically need to sit down and rest. Also, you're not able to focus on anything. So at that time, I was not able to read anything. And even if I was trying to listen to certain audiobooks, I was not able to do that. Basically, the brain was not acting at its best and I was half sleepy all the time. Okay, so to sum it up, first 3-4 days were the hardest. I had fever, brain fog and body weakness. Then after that, my fever went down. It was ranging from 98 to 99. It did not cross 100. I was taking proper medication every single day. After 3 to 4 days, things started becoming slightly better. But then at the 4th day, 5th day, 6th day, I lost my taste buds. Now see, I did not completely lose them as in I was not able to taste anything. What happened was that everything was a lot salty and a lot bitter. So I was not able to understand the actual taste. Some other taste was coming. There was loss of appetite. I was not feeling like eating anything. Plus, even if I ate something, taste was opposite of what it usually is. I started experiencing shortness in breath. So breathing was becoming slightly difficult. Now this is something which only happened with me. It did not happen with any of my family members, right? So for that, I had to take a lot of steam. So then after the 5th and 6th day, my taste buds, they returned. My loss of appetite was gone. On the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th day, today as I'm recording this, it is my 10th day with the COVID. I'm having cough. In between shots also I'm coughing. That's the only problem that is remaining currently with my illness. Rest everything's gone. And I'm still taking medication as per what the doctor has prescribed. So looking back, if I try to evaluate all of these 10 days, I would feel that the first 3 to 4 days were the hardest because at that time my body was not in my control. It was reacting in haphazard manner and I had to rest even though I did not want to rest, but because I could not do anything, right? And that was the time when I was most worried also about my to-do list and about the things that I had to finish. But now standing on the 10th day, I realized that it was necessary to rest at that time so that I could recover over the period of time. Right? Now let's talk about those students who are fit and fine right now, but we are just planning for a contingency in the future, how to strategize your studies because of the spreading COVID. I hope it doesn't happen, but if at all in the future you have COVID, then what is going to happen is that at least the first 3 days will go completely wasted. So let's say on a regular basis you are studying for 10 hours, then if something bad happens, then the first 3 to 4 days will go in the drain. It means 30 to 40 hours of your productive study will go in the drain. So here's what I think you should do. You should try to cover that kind of contingency right away. Okay, just like how in accounts we make provision so that in future if suppose there is a loss, we can use that provision and reserve to cope with those future possible losses. Similarly, right now also what you can do is every single day maybe try to study 2 extra hours. Okay, if you study for 2 extra hours, then in the next 15 to 20 days you will be able to cover up those 30 to 40 extra hours that possibly in the future you might lose. I hope it doesn't happen, but let's just keep that possibility, let's just keep it as a contingency. The second thing that I want to tell you students is to not worry about it. See, worrying and stressing helps if you can come to a solution, but this is something which is not in our control. We can make sure that we take the precautions, but we cannot ensure that this doesn't happen with us, right? If at all it happens in the future, you better be prepared for it right away. Now let's talk about those students who are currently having the disease and how they should strategize, how they should study and focus. My experience, I can say the first 3 days are the hardest, and during these first 3 days it is also very difficult to actually focus on your work or your study. In my opinion, the first 3 days you should not worry about the exams. Your focus should entirely be on recovering, on resting, on taking medication, on taking steam, and making sure you're eating right. Why? Because firstly, because of the brain fog and the fever, any which ways, even if you try to study, your output will not come. So you might as well just rest. Secondly, these first 3 to 4 days are very crucial in recovering throughout the 10-day, 14-day period. If you make sure that first 3 to 4 days you're resting well, you will get better faster, I believe. So for me, it was 3 to 4 days. It might be 1 day or 2 days for you. It might be longer. Now, once you have recovered from this hardest part of COVID, after that, you can definitely start studying. During this time, try to take up easy topics. So try to revise the concepts that you have already studied, or try to solve past exam papers, or you can also take up practical problems that you like, or you can take up some easy chapters from the subject. Okay, so try to solve easy things so that at least the time is not wasted. At least you're doing something instead of nothing. The next tip is that instead of sitting on table and chair and studying, you can lie on the bed and study with a folding table if possible. Okay, now sitting and studying on a table and chair can be a little straining for your back and for your legs during this time. Okay, now because you are recovering, therefore you can just lie down in bed, and with a folding table also you can study. The next crucial tip is that don't take your health lightly. Make sure that you take proper medication and you also take a lot of steam and hot water. Those were all the tips and tricks I had based on my experience. I hope they were helpful. Make sure to like this video and share it with your friends for their awareness also. And make sure you take care of your health and you also prepare for this kind of contingency that can happen in the future. All the very best and take care of yourself.